Hello there, internets. This is a test stream testing the new live streaming setup. I have, however, identified a flaw in the plan that I'll have to address, and I need to mount a extra monitor over here so I can see chat or laptop or something for managing the streaming. Things have changed a lot since the last time I did this. Well, back into Elite Dangerous here for the first time as of Halloween this year in 7 years. I docked up my ship in, I think, the Borman system, or I should say I logged off in the Borman system. I had a cargo full of low temperature diamonds. I guess I was back when that was a thing. Um, and logged back in, logged off Halloween of 2018, logged back in Halloween of 2025. And what's brought me back is now with colonization having a few months to work out some of the kinks and things like that and expand upon it, players actually have agency in the game. And as such, yeah, today I'm going to slum it in private group simply because I'm still finding controls and enough has changed that I'm not comfortable going back out into open quite yet. Give me another day or two. A lot of it's come back, but I've also noticed that the last time I had played, I was using my CH control setup, the CH Pro throttle fighter stick. Oh yes, please bear with the sound of dogs you may hear backing or barking upstairs. It's daytime. People are having roofs put on and yard services, even though it's November. Speaking of that, I do need to go out and mow the yard here. I'll get that done this afternoon. We've actually gotten some rain, so let's see. We need CMM composites, medical diagnostic equipment, and steel, titanium, water. Okay. So that's what we need. I kind of know where we can go to get some of that stuff. Go ahead and flop over here. Get the system map. We need Wiener Town. Planet, beer beacon. Where do I have a beer beacon? Anyway, I think it's here. It'd be like Bush Industries. Yes, that is the closest, and we'll start hauling in some CMN composites. So, kind of the impetus for this is a couple of my friends that still play Elite Dangerous. And I will test audio levels and stuff like that. I may need to adjust, and I'll take a peek here, chat and everything in a few minutes. Okay, my Imperial Courier and Eagle has arrived. There we go. That's good news. Deal with that. So that's Fred barking in the background. This is one of the reasons why every time I thought about getting back into streaming, if I stream during the daytime, he barks almost incessantly at delivery drivers. I don't think I'm expecting. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Before I go out here, I'm only going to be streaming for about half an hour, probably about half an hour. Then I've got to go run some errands. I've got to get on aircraft spruce and do a return because I bought the other uh, slick ignition harness that said should work for my engine and was too short. And so I had a custom one come in from Maggie Ignition Systems that's on a tower, and each lead is independent. So if we get into this one, and it's like, hey, lead B3 is not long enough. We need 2 more inches. I can call them up and say, hey, can you make me a new B3 lead and make it 3 inches longer? And it's only like 50, $60. Each ignition wire is independent. ignition harness for an aircraft is basically a distributor cap. It's not any different than the Cameo, which I tuned it up this spring. I put on new spark plugs, new distributor cap, changed the oil. I'm debating whether to do that again. I may put in some cam guard here for automotive engines, not the other stuff. Although I've got to make one more trip to the hangar with the Cameo to drop some stuff off, and I'll probably do that tomorrow. And then drive the Cameo a couple more times and put it up for winter. I don't drive it when it's salty out. That being said, I need to touch up. Found a couple little areas of rust that I need to touch up with. Get out the wire brush and paint around a couple of bolts. That's something I'll do here this winter. Yeah, I've got to return to Aircraft Spruce. I'm going to probably just keep the credit since it's already paid. Already paid the credit card bill. And then use it next year to buy LED beacons. Or whatever. Well, next year I'm having all of the hoses. I'm getting a hose set made, and we'll do that. And also having an autopilot put in next. Scheduled tentatively for April. It may get pushed off. Trio is redesigning their servos for the Hershey Bar Cherokees to, well, I think all Cherokees in general, to put it in under the wing spar like True Track. And I'm not 100% on Garmin GFC 500. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and argue that it isn't a better, the best general aviation autopilot on the market, but is it twice the cost? Yeah, I think the Garmin GFC 500 is good to 200 AGL, where the Trio is 500 and the True Track is, I think, 700 AGL. But truth be told, if I might do something if we're doing a cross-country flight and it's like overcast, but you can punch out of the cloud layer at like 3,000 feet or something, fly through the clouds. Although traveling cross-country, I just generally like to use IFR flight plans. But yeah, that escalated quickly. I've had to got about 4 flights in with my CFI for version training, and from Cessna to Piper, and Magneto went bad. Hold on 1 second here. So hopefully for Ed now. A couple of other things for my streaming setup that I got to get set up. I just had to yell at Fred to say no bark. And he'll stop barking for a little bit until a leaf blows down the street again. So I need to get a doggo cam and get that set up. Although they're upstairs barking at neighbors having a new roof put on, so they don't like that. So yeah, streaming during the day is kind of difficult because they're just going to bark, and then usually I'm doing stuff during the day too. But I thought I'd do a test stream here, try things out. I am capturing on a different computer from what I'm playing the game on now. So all the CPU cycles goes to rendering whatever game I'm playing. There we go. I do have to say that the UI is generally a little bit better. Loud Ping Galactic LLC. How to use market. Need CMM composites. I have a cargo. I should have 296. What's the one item I have in my cargo hold? Oh, non-lethal weapons. You buy non-lethal weapons? You will. And I made a profit on it. That's even better. All right. So at any rate, a couple friends of I that we used to play Battlestar Galactica online with back in the day, we decided to come back to Elite and build some memorial stations for our old buddies that we've lost over the last 15 years. Time has not been so kind. We're starting with Varios. We're getting our construction points up and then going to build Varios Memorial, probably Cole Memorial, ET Memorial, Salmac Memorial, or Sal Memorial, MTW Memorial. I mean, these were all people that, 13, 14 years ago, we're probably going to play Star Citizen with until, that project really hasn't progressed as it should have. Which is kind of a shame because the first year, I think the Arena Commander or whatever it was released with like a couple of week delay, which, I mean, that's expected, but right? Oh, yeah, there's one jump. Basically, this system has most of the materials that we need to construct stations one jump away. But we're spreading colonization and managed no, oh, wait, wrong game. But I have been producing video content on another channel that is not related to gaming at all over the last 6 months. But I've been basically creating 2 videos a week, one that gets released, another one that gets into the repository of reserve content for like Thanksgiving. We're going to be out of town, and Christmas we'll be out of town, but then we have extra content. Or if the SSD decides to fail. Ask me how I know. And loses this week's project, and I have to restart, re-record everything. But now we're mostly back on Macintosh, or I guess Mac, whatever you want to call it. But kind of started. My dad had been. About 2007. I got tired of cleaning off my dad's computer every time I came home, so just bought him a Mac. 2008, and bought him a brand new Mac Mini about 6 months before he died. And so we brought that home, and that's been they use Apples at my daughter's school. So that's kind of become her computer, but teaching her how to use Blender. Also has a Linux computer that she has Blender 3D on, 3D modeling software for 3D printer, um, open source tools. I mean, learning the basics there. Although what you can do with Blender these days is kind of, you know, you can produce better quality videos than you could with like Lightwave 20 years ago. I don't even know if Lightwave's still around. I still could produce better results with Lightwave, like as far as lighting and stuff like that goes, than I could 3D Studio or back in the day 3D Studio Max, which I guess all the cool kids and professionals are using like Maya these days, but yes, I will align with target destination, but it's like behind the planet. Yeah, we're gonna build up this and however many star systems we need to in order to get our construction points up to build probably an Acela station, whichever one it is with the giant eyeball, and that'll become Varios Memorial. And we'll probably rename other stations along the way, um, just as a tribute to fallen comrades. But I mean, everyone pretty much was natural causes to an extent. Like Varios, he went in for like a routine soldier, I think it was shoulder surgery or something, and never been under anesthesia before, and had an allergic reaction. It like blew out his kidneys and pancreas, and then he passed away. Not that much soon after. It wasn't exactly on the operating table, but that was just, you know, that's just the unfortunate suckiness of life sometimes, is through no fault of your own. Um, you know, it happens. PT was like 80. He was playing BSGO with us. Um, Cole, great guy, and then suddenly just disappeared one day and didn't know why. And sometime later, somehow learned that he had owned some rental property and one of his tenants killed him. That was kind of like the only real tragedy. Sal had, was it a dissected aorta and died. I mean, and MTW had health issues for years with heart attacks, and granted, he was in his 60s. Uh, yeah. Uh, but out of that kind of cadre of group that have managed to stay in contact with each other over the last decade plus, and there may be one or two more that I don't know about. I know that we're sending out feelers of, hey, anybody else that we used to play with. Stuff. If they've left this mortal coil, let us know. We'll put a memorial station to them, and Elite, that'll be here for as long as Elite is, I guess. Uh, which I mean, I think another part of this is the players now given at least some semblance of agency in the game. It kind of came with the passing of Michael Brooks, who was the executive director of this game during its initial years, and he was just adamant on not allowing players to be able to do things like build stations and have a dramatic effect. He wanted everything to basically be run by the background sim. with players maybe being able to put a finger on it. And that's what drove off basically the people that I originally played this game with. And looking through my friends list, man, from especially most of them are from back in those days, haven't logged in 120 months. I mean, Varios, he hasn't logged in 128 months because, well, um, that's about when he passed away. But other people, it's just like, look at the number of people who gave up on the game, which a game that's what, 12, 14, oh, yeah, about 12 years old. You include premium betas and stuff like that. Yeah, there's going to be people who drop out, come back in, and I've seen some people who have logged in the last month or two. But then again, I took a 7-year break hiatus. Now back into it. All right, how much time do I have here? Well, you know what? For test stream, I think I'm going to cut it here. See how things are with sound levels and what needs to be tweaked. I have multiple ways that I can do that. I've got basically mixing software on this computer so that I can send sound to my headphones as well as to the video capture card. And then I have tools on the Mac that I can also adjust with the streaming software and stuff, volume and mix levels and all of that good jazz. It's going to take a little bit to figure stuff out, but I plan on starting to stream probably twice a week, maybe 3 nights a week in the wintertime here. I will be needing to get some night concurrency here now that it gets dark at 6 o'clock at night. So, but that's what, 3 flights every 90 days. I think I can work those in. But again, you got to work around weather, and especially this time of year and stuff like that. So, any rate, I think I'm going to go ahead cut it here. And yeah, we'll start streaming on here and probably other platforms as well. Not Twitch. Probably not Facebook Live. Maybe Twitter? But I don't have a personal account on Twitter. I have a business account. Probably streaming this on the business account. Not a good idea. Rumble. My personal thoughts is that the days of YouTube being about you are essentially over. So it's going to be alternate platforms, and I think Twitch has dug itself a deep enough of a hole that A, it's not about gaming anymore. B, their CEO is a dumbass, and I think with what happened with their convention here last couple of weeks and other controversies, because I'll have a doggo cam, but I don't have any shock collars on my doggos. So you pretty much get to see them sleeping on the bed, the dog bed, and the couch. I also need to clean up down here a little bit so that they have room on the couch again. We had a water softener put in about a week ago. Also, please bear with the fluorescent hum for the next couple of days. I'm hoping this weekend to replace the fluorescent light bulbs down here with drop-in LED panels. We'll have to see what the weather is. The next time the weather's kind of crappy, going to be doing that. All right, until then, see you next time.